Hello guys, welcome in. And as you know, if you've seen my previous video, I've been playing with Meteor for quite a while now. I've been trying to different combinations with enchantments. I've been trying Firewall, which I think is actually a really good choice. But now recently I changed to Fireball. The Fireball enchantment is gonna basically grant us explosion of 50% of its base damage on the enemy that they get killed by the meteor. So I have gained way more burst damage, especially when you group enemies up. The non-elites, it will help you to pretty much burn any elites that you have in the middle. So Fireball definitely has become my favorite enchantment in the game. Now for the skills, I made slight changes to benefit from this Fireball enchantment. I pretty much chased the most rank I could possibly get with Fireball, just to increase the damage so the explosion will be higher. And also I went all the way up to Destructive Fireball to get that critical damage from explosions. Now keep in mind that aspects and ranks affect your enchantments. So the more ranks you have, the more damage your enchantment is gonna do. So I tried to get I tried to get as much crit and crit damage as possible to pretty much gain much damage as I could with the Fireball, and pretty much had fire. It feels like you have Fireball without even having Fireball. Now I removed Point Warden because pretty much resistance to element is pointless in this game at the moment unless they fix it. It's just not worth getting. And also I removed Devastation as well. In terms of defensive abilities, still pretty much the same. I still have 7 ranks of Frost Nova, and also has 7 ranks of Teleport. Remember just to grab the Shimmering Teleport to gain damage mitigation. On the Flame Shield, you want to grab Shimmering Flame Shield just to get that heal back of your missing life. And then on Frost Nova, you want to grab a Mystical Frost Nova to gain Vulnerable with the skill. I still have Elemental Attunement just to get some lucky chance when I crit. Since I crit pretty much all the time, the lucky hit is always gonna be there. So the reason I didn't put more points in it, it has a cooldown 10 seconds. So 10 seconds is quite a lot. So I'd rather have 1 point and then have the chance that it may happen, rather than just investing too much on this little knot here. I do include more an additional one to Glass Cannon just to create more damage. And then from the configuration section, it's still pretty much the same. I still have 3 points on unlikely elements and 3 points on protection just to grant that maximum life as a barrier, and then some damage mitigation with mana shield as well. We're gonna keep the precision magic just to keep our lucky chance base increased by 50%. And then pretty much with the master skills, I have 12 ranks of Meteor and then 4 ranks of Firewall. Firewall is basically a utility skills compared to the previous build I have, where I could actually do damage as well with thanks to Burning Instinct. But right now, I'd rather have more burst damage with Meteor, so I drop the Burning Instinct. I'm gonna go over the Paragon in a minute, but Firewall now just is more like spread and pull enemies and turn it into fire just to activate some of the like damage against burning enemy, or damage to burning enemies, etc. And also proximal meters as well. We're gonna keep the inner flames just to get that 9% increase while you're healthy. I'm trying to see how much I can push without if I can get a necklace where it gives him more damage, to see if I can get up to 6 ranks. The Water Blaze, of course, is gonna increase our critical damage against burning enemies. That's where Firewall becomes more valuable, just for the fact that you can, before you even pull, you can turn it into fire, then jump with teleport, and then drop meters on them. Ultimate skill with these slight changes, I drop Endless Pyre and Cape Warmth, just pretty much since we're not using that much burning damage. I think Endless Pyre is not that valuable anymore, but we did Cape Warmth just to increase the survivability, just for the fact that it can help you to recover from cheap damage that you get from small enemies. So the more enemies you have burning, the better. And then of course we grab Super Inferno, which is basically a must when you have Inferno, just to have infinite mana when we put just to have infinite mana when we have big pools. We also went on to Ferocity. Of course, this is a crit build, so we need that crit damage that as much as we can get, and also crit as well. And that's pretty much it for the skills. Very basic, and pretty much the major change was just grabbing Mushrak of Fireball, and also the Destructive Fireball as well. Now for the Paragon board, we pretty much redid the entire board just to grab more non damage. I feel like this Paragon board is more efficient than the one that I had previously. So I appreciate whoever pointed out that, I was missing some of the non-physical nods, especially on the Enchanted board. I did change some glyphs, specifically the Adept. I changed it from order. I grabbed now the Enchanter because it grants you non-physical damage, and I feel like this is it. Doing some research, non-physical damage is the best damage you can get on any sorcerer's build. So because it's a non-conditional damage source, so it's gonna make other sources scale as well. So you want as more non-physical damage as possible. So having the Enchanter glyph as the first one is gonna be big because you also have some of the non-physical damage not in here. Then in here I dropped the Enchanter Master. I feel like even though I in the previous build it was kind of working, now with this build I feel like it's not really as necessary, especially if it's not worth getting out of your way and wasting all those Paragon nods points to grab it. Instead, I just went and grabbed all the non-physical damage not as possible because this is the focus of any sorcerer's builds. Having the Enchanted Master board as you say as your first board is crucial because this is something that you're gonna use on any build. So it pretty much work on any build that you'll be rocking because it just has so much non-physical damage. Now in this one, I just have Exploit just to get more vulnerable damage. And then the next board, which is our main board, this one is Searing Heat. This is gonna grant just more crit chance pretty much on both skills, so it synergizes on the Enchantment and also on Meteor, so we do want to have that in there. And then I went all the way, grabbed all the damage nodes that there around here for fire damage. Now for the glitch, pretty much I changed Adept in here since both have 70 intelligence. It pretty much is beneficial for both. So having master skill damage is important because it's a master's focus build, and also the increased area is really sweet. Now for a third board, we grab Frigid Fate, and I think that's another board that you should grab on any build as well. The only thing that you want from here pretty much are all the vulnerable damage not that the board offers, which is just on these two sections. And then I included, now for our last board, we grab Static Surge. This is basically direct synergy with the Umbra aspect that we put in our ring for mana. So this is extra mana to increase our resources when we're doing some pull with teleport. Just keep in mind that if you don't have teleport, then this node is pointless. And then we grab all the damage to stun enemy and damage to elite. Also we went over paralyzing as well, so I was able to grab all the nodes that I wanted pretty much with this board. And then for our last glyph, we had Control. This is up to you. I feel like Control was providing more damage overall for me, for the fact that the second condition, it scales really nice with my necklace. So it's more extra damage when you have a stone or frozen enemies, but you can also use the extraction in that socket. But also you can use territorial as well, since you pull a lot of mobs, you're gonna get easy damage to close enemy modifier. So it's really up to you, but in my opinion, I was able to get more damage overall with this glyphs specifically. The destruction is really nice, but the destruction is gonna apply more for the fireball specifically because it's a core skill. So that's why I don't have it there. I want to focus more on the meteor part, and I think this one has given me better results. Now for the gear, pretty much you just saw my previous video. It's still pretty much the same. I still have the same helmet with the double frost nova, and then crowd control, cooldown reduction, maximum life, and total armor. I wish I can just drop here and put more intelligent over crowd control, because I have 70% crowd control. I think that's more than enough, especially to contradict some of the affixes that is usually 40%. Then we have, of course, the reigning of the infinite, which is a mouse on any sorcerer's build. Now this is the key part where I changed the build. It's only the gloves. The glove grants you fire up to 4 ranks of fireball. I would like to drop our stat and get attack speed. That would be my ideal one, but I already wasted 40 million of gold trying to grab that stat, and it never happened. I'm not gonna waste more gold on the glove, so I just rather wait for the drop. But at the moment, this glove is just doing its work. You want critical chance, you want intelligence, fireball, and attack speed. Okay, that will be the idea gloves in this slot. I still have the same pants. I have total armor, intelligence, 4 ranks of meteor, and damage up to close enemies. Here you can put maximum life as well. It's just up to you. But this one works as well. So damage mitigation works when you're doing pulls. And then the same boots, pretty much 4 ranks of frost nova, movement speed, intelligence, and I wish I'm trying to chase to see if I can get 4 and 4 ranks in here, but again, no luck so far. So I think this is the best boot I ever gotten so far in the game. Then for the weapon, I still use meteorites because this is part of the core. What makes meteor better is you don't use this aspect. I think meteor by itself is a little more rough. You're gonna be more like single target, I guess, but since this is more for nightmare dungeons, you're gonna do a lot of pulls with mobs. So that you definitely want this as an aspect. We still have the same amulet, and we want to have that aspect in there. It's one of the best aspects for any sorcerer's build. We still have that the Roaring Blaze rank in our mastery. Now for the rings, I still have the same one with critical strike damage, critical strike, vulnerable, and damage to close enemy. You can also squeeze lucky hit or maximum life. That will be another great option. And then for our aspect, we have Umbra to get more resources when we're doing CC. And here we have lucky hit, critical chance, vulnerable damage, and crit damage. Again, you can drop lucky hits, and this build is not really that relying on lucky hit, but I'd rather have a little bit just to keep proccing more meteors with firewall. So it's good to have some sort of like lucky hit sources. So yeah, and then we have 25% where I have a variant. Now for the offhand, right now I was able to get this nice offhand, and I changed intercom over 3 courses aspect for the fact that healthy target gets 50% crit strike damage. Now intercom technically is better, but because you have to move so much because you're on melee range, intercom was not as consistent as this one. Most of the time I'm able, if I had to, let's say they have a toxic fix that I had to move constantly, and I was able to throw them, but I had to like kind of back off a little bit. I still were able to get that initial big hit if the meter crit, and then this helps us to get them into injury state faster, just to get smiting with the gloves here to get that additional 20% of crit chance. So if we have 40% crit chance in this build, we're pretty much gonna have more than 50% once they're injured and they start blowing up, and then Fireball also is gonna benefit from this as well. Start, we have 6100 armor and 12,000 life. I think this is basically pretty much easy to obtain. Pretty much for crit damage, we still the same, 173, and vulnerable damage still around the same. Oh, actually, I think we increased this a little bit more to 40%. And our damage reach stun is 263. Damage with fire almost 700. Notice that damage to burning now is greatly reduced, is because we don't have burning instinct anymore. So that doesn't really matter. It's just it's a bucket of damage that we don't care about. You want to have non-physical damage, crit damage, vulnerable damage, and maybe damage to close enemy, because it's easy to get and anybody can use it. Now for critical deduction, we have 42%, which is actually really sweet. And then lucky chance was down by 10%, I believe. I had 32 on the last build, but it's because of the glove, but that's okay. We still have 18% with the boots when we have barriers, so it's kind of offset what we lost on the previous build. And I feel like we don't rely on much lucky hit as much, just for the fact that usually when I do a pull, one of the first meteor actually destroys everything. So I don't think we need that much lucky hit. Lucky hit is gonna come clutch when you have very tough enemies that they're not dying on the first 2 or 3 meters. So additional meter might help you with that. For crowd control, we have 70%, which is really sweet. We want to have them as CC as much as possible, but not to the point that they get unstoppable like every pull, because then you won't be able to keep them at bay. So I found that 70% is actually a really nice spot. So that's what I have for the build update, guys. I hope you enjoyed this build. I've been enjoying it so far. I can just not have enough of it. I stream on Twitch every night, so you want to see the build action, feel free to just pass by and give me a follow there. Also, feel free to subscribe and leave a comment, and also like. That would greatly help me to put this video out there. And I'm gonna work on one last build before the season drops as a mage. I'm gonna drop a conjuration build. Hopefully I can get that before the season drops. I'm very eager to see the patch drops that they're coming probably sometime next week. And yeah, guys, thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.